What's happening around the world?
And what's happening here at home? A very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1, bringing you the news. I'm Mariam Gunavijaya.
And I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Today, Sri Lanka joins the world in honoring the hardworking men and women who keep our country moving from the fields to the factories, offices to homes.
And this is a day to appreciate and stand in solidarity with every worker whose efforts shape the heart of our nation.
Today, Labor Day, often referred to as May Day, is a celebration of laborers and the working classes.
Happy International Workers' Day. Well, with that, we take a look at today's headlines.
Sri Lanka celebrates labour movement on May Day with rallies across the country. President at NPP May Day rally addresses talks on government collapsing.
අද මොකද්ද දේශපාලනේ අනිත් පස තිබෙන්නේ අපේක්ෂා බංගත්වයේ වේදනාව වරප්‍රසාද අහිමිවීමේ අඳෝනාව බීතියේ තැතිගැන්ම එනිසා තවදුරටත් දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාර නැහැ ඒව නිකන් වැල් බයිලා කණ්ඩායම් මත වැල් බයිලා මාර්තු වල ආණ්ඩුවේ වැටෙනවා කියනවා මාර්තු පැන්නාම අගෝස්තු කියනවා අද අපෙන් එළිය තිබෙන්නේ සුම්බුන් ගොඩක එකතුවක් මිසක්කා අභියෝගයක් නෙවෙයි.
SJB holds May Day rally in Talabakale.
මම ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා කරුණා කරලා මේ භූමිය රැඳී සිටින්න මේ රැස්වීම ඊටාම ඉක්මනින් තවම ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එමෙ ඉන්න කියන එක මම තමුන්නාන්සලාගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Namal in Nugegoda. 15 May Day rallies in Colombo. Chief Inspector involved in pillion talks based on Ranil's request transferred. Faces CID probe. Is Shamara Sampath linked to the billion-dollar phosphate scam? Police seek to greenlight from court to record statement.
The main May Day rally of the National People's Power was held at Golfias Green in Colombo under the patronage of President Anurakkumara Dissanayake. The rally was held under the theme, The People's Power That Rebuilds the Nation.
This is the first May Day rally convened by the National People's Power since coming into power. Many people came to Colombo from different parts of Sri Lanka this morning to be part of the rally. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Cabinet Ministers, National People's Power MPs, party seniors and representatives from the Indian and Chinese Communist parties among a large gathering attended this rally. President Anurakkumara Dissanayake joined the May Day rally this evening.
අද මොකද්ද දේශපාලනේ අනිත් පස තිබෙන්නේ අපේක්ෂා බංගත්වයේ වේදනාව වරප්‍රසාද අහිමිවීමේ අඳෝන.
It's the pain of disappointment, the agony of unfulfilled promises and the panic of fear. That's why political business as usual is no more. Those outside are merely voices without direction. They claimed the government would fall in March. When that didn't happen, they said August. There are no shortcuts to transforming this harsh reality into a new society. It's a strategic, deliberate exercise. We must begin by laying a strong foundation. What we were handed was a country without a stable base, like a ship adrift with a broken mast. But we have made every effort to build that strong foundation. What are the pillars of this foundation? First, non-corrupt politics. This is non-negotiable. We cannot rebuild the nation without integrity at its core. Second, national unity. We know your expectations because we've worked alongside you. If we didn't understand them, we wouldn't have increased your basic salaries without you even asking. We increased your salaries and enhanced your allowances, but don't stay stagnant and fight aimlessly. That's not fair. This is a movement to rebuild the nation and move the country forward. It's time to leave behind the old and embrace the new. This is a political movement that aims to strengthen the public service. We believe in a strong, efficient public sector. We know the pulse of the trade union movements. We've stood with them, carried posters and fought for their rights. We are a movement that has always raised our voice for their aspirations. So what is this resistance we hear about? There can be no real conflict. We invite trade unions to join hands in rebuilding this nation. I say this with confidence and responsibility. Those on the outside are just talkers. We are the ones facing the real political challenges. Out there, what challenges, what leaders, what movements? Here, we have thousands gathered from villages across the country, and yet some claim the villages have been taken just because a few gather at Galle Face. What lies? That political movement is over, its ideology scattered, it's all over the place. It's a tragedy. Often what they say isn't even written by them. What they say on one stage, they contradict on another. It has become a mess, so the external challenge is over. What matters now is what we do here moving forward, stronger than ever to transform this nation. That journey has already begun. We are ready to take the next step to complete this mission and build a better future for our country and for our children. The crowd gathered here at Galle Face Green sends a clear message. We are ready for the challenge. The national people's power is the trusted force. The future of this nation is safe with us. This is our message to the country, to the world, and to all the talkers on the outside. It's time to take the next step on the 6th May. The President, the Cabinet and the Parliament should unite under one vision. Pradesh Sabhas and municipal councils should be with the NPP. The government does not steal and the Pradesh Sabhas will also not steal.
These were the views expressed at the National People's Power May Day rally.
Previously, when we held May Day rallies, we were on the battlegrounds. Among the many slogans, a major one on our battlegrounds was, "We want the power of the working class, the control of the working people, a government of the working people, a state of the working people." Today, we have achieved this slogan. For the first time in Sri Lanka, we are celebrating this May Day with power and authority. That is the victory. We hope that from this point forward, we will celebrate every May Day under with power. We also hope that from here on, we will remain united. Every time a budget is presented, the trade unions have significant demands. This time, there weren't any. The fighters, our trade unions, the farmers' movement, the student movement, everyone who fought and struggled had faith that their rights and demands would be fulfilled by their government in the very first budget. That fulfillment was indeed achieved in this budget. Our government has granted a wage increase to our working class, something unprecedented in history. However, several issues and problems still need resolution. We are all committed to a plan to resolve all remaining issues tomorrow. Your government will fulfill everything you expected.
We women came together as one and we remain together as one. That hasn't changed and we will continue to be united. For so long, there were only 13 female MPs. Now there are 22 and 20 of those are ours. That's the power of us women united. For decades, what a suffering and suppressed movement this has been. How many died? How many were killed? How many lives were sacrificed? How many of our elders must have wept during the loss of their children who were involved in this struggle, this movement? In how many homes was that sorrow endured? We reached this moment during a time when there was no security. You provided us with security during such a time, and that is how we are here today. I believe we can never forget that. Now we see hopeful signs for the future. We will build this country someday. Just as Anura promised, we will not pass this suffering on to another generation. We will hand over a developed country, a prosperous country. We are building this country for a generation that is thousands of times more capable and advanced than us.
දහස් වාරයක් අපිට වඩා ඉදිරියෙන් ඉන්න පරම්පරාවකට අපි මේ රට බාර දෙන්නේ.
නැගෙනහිරත් කඳුකරත් ජනාධිපතිවරණයේදී පෙරදිලා නේද සහෝදරයා කියලා කිව්වා.
They asked if we didn't lose in the East and the Hill country during the presidential election. Our response was, be patient. We know them, their parties and those politicians. They have always tried to gain power by creating divisions among the people, building distrust among them and instilling suspicion. How did we gain power? We told the truth to the people. We united them. We brought the people together. Today, that unity is why the entire Goldface Green is a single mass of people, while other political parties are searching for corners to hold their May Day rallies and are being forced to hold them in their homes. This year, the Samagi Jana Balavegya held its May Day rally outside Colombo in Talabakale. The rally themed Workers' Power for the Battle to Empower the Village was held under the patronage of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. Leaders of political parties allied with the Samagi Jana Balavegya also participated in this May Day rally. Party supporters arrived at the municipal council grounds from Talabakale town to attend the event. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa joined the May Day rally this evening.
At this time, our people have a responsibility. Our voters have a responsibility to decide whether to be deceived again by those beautiful fairy tales or to support public representatives who stand for the truth and for the people. Only the Samagi Jana Balavegya is engaging in genuine people-friendly politics today.
It won't be long before Sajith Premadasa becomes the leader of this country. If there is a law of nature in this world, if there are gods and deities who rule this world, a humanitarian like him will get justice before long. You filled Goldface Green in 2020. You lost. You will fill Goldface Green in 2025. But the election results on May 6th won't be good for Anura Kumara and his team. They told us it would be a renaissance. In the end, we also thought there would be a big change. Did any change happen? We fell out of the frying pan into the fire. Sajith Premadasa secured his votes by telling the people the truth, but Anura Kumara Dissanayake secured his votes by lying to the people. Now the lie has won in this country. We can't become president or prime minister. We ask those of you who voted for the telephone symbol in the last election to give us victory in these 6 local government bodies. A prosperous country and a beautiful life have not yet been realized for the people of this nation. To this day, fertilizer subsidies have not been provided. Fertilizer subsidies are only given for paddy farming, and even that support hasn't been delivered. Today, the price of a sack of fertilizer has increased. The price of urea has also gone up. They said electricity bills would be reduced, but now we are hearing reports that Anura Kumara Dissanayake, who promised to reduce electricity bills after the election, is now implementing the IMF agreement of the former president, is in fact preparing to increase the electricity bills after the election. We are hearing reports that discussions have been held with the IMF and a promise has been made to the IMF to increase electricity bills after the election as a condition to receive the fourth tranche of the extended fund facility. They had said the bill would be reduced by 33%, but now it's being said that instead of lowering the bill to 3,000, it will be increased to 6,000. They said a bill of 3,000 would be reduced to 2,000. We would like to ask President Anurakkumara Dissanayake why so many lies. They said fuel bought into the port would be given to the people at the landed price. I want to ask, you won the presidential election. You won a 2/3 majority in parliament. So where is the promise President Anurakkumara Dissanayake made to provide fuel to the people at the landed price? What happened to that promise? The price of rice has gone up and you can't even find a coconut. Milk powder prices have risen too. This is a government that can't even provide the basic necessity of salt to the people. Not even salt. It's shameful. As of today, law and order in the country is not functioning. Murderers, underworld gangs, criminal groups, they have taken the law into their own hands. They come into homes and kill. They enter bedrooms and kill. People are being murdered in courtyards, on main roads and at workplaces. They are killed while going to work and even on their way back. People are being killed even on courthouse grounds and now even inside these courtrooms in front of judges. Murderers have taken control of the country's legal and justice system. What we are seeing is jungle law. We, along with the local police, security forces, state institutions and law and order sectors, through our local councils will establish security committees in every ward, every village, every town, every sub-town and even the smallest communities. We will organize and dismantle these murder gangs, robbers and criminal groups that poison our society and restore law and order. As an opposition, this is our responsibility. We are ready to join hands with you and act together to restore peace and justice once again.
After opposition leader Sajith Premadasa delivered his remarks, the crowd started to leave the venue, prompting organizers to intervene and try to stop the dispersal.
Our leader had to leave this place because he suddenly had a lot of urgent matters to attend to. However, on behalf of him, our Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, Harsha De Silva and many other prominent speakers are still present at this location. Therefore, I kindly request you to remain here. It will not take much longer. I am asking you all to please stay.
However, although other speakers and the minister were still present at the May Day rally, the Samak Jana Balawekaya had to bring the rally to an end due to the departure of the crowd.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna held its May Day rally at the Ananda Samarakun Open Air Theatre in Nugegoda.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna organized its May Day rally under the theme Enough of Deception, Let's Rise Up Now. The rally was held under the leadership of the party's national organizer MP Namal Rajapaksa.
Remember this, we will change this, we will change it. It won't be long before we too beat the drums. Tell Harini Kirilli to come, tell Hachi Kirilli to come, tell Anurakurulla to come. Tell them to answer these. We will change it and that day of change is not far off. That change will be brought about with your beloved leader, Namal Rajapaksa, who knows this land, who was raised according to my culture, who can give life, who can protect this country.
If anyone knows of even one development project that Anurakkumara and his group have done for this country so far, please come and tell us. When Mahinda Rajapaksa was building this country, these people couldn't stand it and said that Mahinda was undertaking this development to steal. When working with China, they said that he was trying to create a Chinese colony. Today, shamelessly, they go and sign agreements with China. When development work was being done with India, they said that Indian expansionism was being allowed. Today, shamelessly, they bring the current Prime Minister Modi and sign all those agreements.
Modi jana agamatitumawa gennala e siyalu givisum walta assam karanawa
This is a government, a party that marched on the streets and fought on the backs of the working people to come to power. The Janata Vimukti Peramuna. Today, they have completely forgotten those working people and are pursuing their own political agenda. They accused us of reducing taxes, and yes, we still say it today, proudly and without fear. During a time when people were struggling, we did not implement a policy of imposing excessive unlimited taxes. We did not enforce such a policy. We genuinely tried to ensure that the benefits reach the people. But with the COVID-19 pandemic, there were challenges. Some decisions had to be made, and most of those decisions were taken for the sake of the people's future. There are those who try to misinterpret that. Even today, I continue to fight for that cause at the cost of my personal life. It's important to remind everyone that we are heading into this election much like this May Day, with the concern that under government led by President Anurukumara Dissanayaka, we fight to acquit and release Mahinda Rajapaksa. We will fulfill that promise. We have never betrayed the people. We have always taken political decisions from the people's side to uplift them. Today, as we move forward, the government is fearful of us, isn't it? Why are they attacking us so much? Honorable President, even if you are afraid of us, we are not afraid of you. And I remind you of this from this stage. They can sling mud at us, they can imprison us in jails, they can create false charges, they can say whatever they want to try to mentally break our party members. However, Honorable President, remember this, the people in the Pohottuwa are Mahinda Rajapaksa's people. We remind you of this. We are not a camp that harms this country. We are not a camp that betrays this country. We are a camp that fought against the terrorists who tried to destroy this country, and through our victory, we transformed this country into one of the fastest developing nations in Asia. So, come to that camp. Join hands with us. On the 6th, the government that will emerge will be created by you and me through the Sri Lanka People's Front. Wishing you all success and a bright future. I offer my blessings and pray for your safety under the triple gem.
The May Day rally of the Frontline Socialist Party was held today at the Lalit Athulat Mudali grounds in Kiralapane.
The Frontline Socialist Party organised this year's May Day rally under the theme A Force Against the IMF Death Trap and Indian Colonization. The May Day rally commenced at the BRC grounds in Colombo. Senior members of the party and others marched from the BRC grounds to the Lalit Athulat Mudali grounds in Kirulapana.
We want to change this, not to allow those who were in power for 70 years to win all over again. Power isn't with certain individuals. Power comes from unity. When the people are united, when laborers unite, when farmers unite, when student movements unite, the current situation must be changed. The current economic pressure must be changed. The practice of bowing down to global powers must change. We need better living conditions for future generations. Only the Socialist Party agenda can make this work.
The Sarvajana Balaya's May Day rally was held at the Varakapala Weekly Fair premises.
There is one thing we need to say. We have introduced an agenda. For this upcoming local government election, we have put forward a slogan, moving forward from where you are. To achieve this, we will establish Sarvajana Sabhas in every village. By establishing Sarvajana Sabhas, we will counter their false proletarian politics, the Watagala theory that perpetually keeps the people in the village in poverty. What is that theory? To make someone who owns a vehicle walk. That's their proletarian theory. There's no theory to uplift people. If there is one, they should state that they will uplift people. We say that the true proletariat in this country, we need to empower them. We need to provide them with capital knowledge, creativity and self-confidence. You are capable of rising up. It is not necessary for Tilvin to come and say rise up, rise up. Our people will rise up. We need to create an environment that elevates their potential and their inherent strength.
ඒ මිනිසුන්ට මෙන්න මේ ශක්්‍යතාවය උන්ට තියෙන හයිය ඒක උස්සල ගන්න පරිසරයක් නිර්මාණය කරන්න.
The May Day rally of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party-led United People's Freedom Alliance was held today at the Sri Lanka Freedom Party headquarters located on Dali Road in Colombo.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ සියලුම දේශපාලන පක්ෂ
All political parties in Sri Lanka have been caught in a political storm. Every party has split into 2 or 3 factions. Today, every party has changed and has fallen so far that it cannot recover. This isn't just the situation for our party. Several parties that were once powerful and governed this country have also experienced this. What is the lesson to be learned? We cannot dispute the people's expectations and aspirations. We must always acknowledge the people's opinion as correct within the democratic process. Even if it is wrong, we must accept it as right.
Today
there is a government. However, it is difficult for anyone to say if it truly functions as a government and what kind of government it is. We don't even know how this government treats the working class right. We know one thing, we don't believe this government has a long-term future if it cannot manage the current economic system, which it is already failing to do. A government that does not create economic growth will not contribute anything to the working people.
The United Trade Unions May Day commemoration was held today at the Public Service Association Hall in Punchiborala under the patronage of Saman Ratnapriya, the United National Party's organizer for the Casbah electorate.
As the working class in this country, we have not yet had a proper opportunity to firmly establish our rights within the nation. According to them, a workers' government is in power. That's what the compass claims. Therefore, they have a very urgent responsibility to rectify these shortcomings. However, we have serious doubts and questions about whether that will actually happen.
News First with the people.
The Joint Trade Union Alliance also held a May Day rally today. The rally was held at the PD Sirasa grounds in Maligawatha.
Representatives from the Free Trade Zone and General Services Employees Union, the Ceylon Bank Employees Union, the Postal and Telecommunications Officers Union, the United Workers Union, the Trade Union of the Free Media Movement and the Sri Lanka All Telecommunications Employees Union participated in the rally. The march, which began near the Fort Railway Station, concluded with the commencement of the May Day rally in Maligawatha. It was held under the theme, Unite for the Power of the Working Class.
The May Day rally of the Socialist People's Front, led by the Communist Party of Sri Lanka, kicked off near the DM Park grounds in Kompanya. They marched to Hyde Park in Colombo. This May Day rally was organised under the themes: oppose IMF coercion, condemn the Palestinian genocide and tear up the Modi-UNRWA Defence Pact.
Across the globe, people are celebrating the 139th International Labour Day, honouring the courage and determination of workers who fought fair labour rights more than a century ago. In the early days of industrial labour, workers had no fixed working hours and were often subjected to long, grueling shifts for meagre wages. Their living and working conditions were harsh and unjust. On the 1st of May 1886, a major turning point began in Chicago, USA, when a group of workers organized a strike demanding an 8-hour workday. Over 1,000 workers joined the protest on the first day, and by the 3rd of May, their numbers had swelled to more than 65,000. On the 3rd of May, police officers, acting on the orders of factory owners, violently broke up a demonstration, killing 4 workers. The violence continued on the 4th of May at Haymarket Square, where a bomb exploded during a protest, killing 1 police officer. The chaos that followed claimed the lives of 6 more officers, with an unknown number of workers also killed. In memory of those who died in the fight for labour rights, The International Labour Organization in 1889 declared the 1st of May as International Labour Day. Since then, it has been observed annually as a day to recognize the struggles and achievements of workers worldwide. Today, as we mark this historic day, we remember the sacrifices made in the pursuit of fairness, dignity and justice in the workplace.
A ceremony to commemorate the 32nd death anniversary of the late President Ranasinghe Premadasa took place this morning near the Premadasa Memorial located adjacent to the Havstorf Court Complex.
Ranasinghe Premadasa, while serving as the second executive president of the country, was assassinated on this day in 1993. The commemoration today was held under the leadership of opposition leader Sajid Premadasa and other family members, including Madam Hema Premadasa. A commemorative ceremony in memory of T.B. Langaratne, who was the initiator of making May Day a public holiday in Sri Lanka, was held today in front of the statue located on Sri Uttarananda Mawata, Colombo 3. The event was held under the patronage of Sri Lanka Podujana Peruma's Administrative Secretary Renuka Pereira. A group including the chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Nimal Siripala de Silva, also paid their tributes to the statue of T.B. Langaratne this morning. A.E. Gunasinghe was a great Labour leader, forever remembered on May Day. The working people of Sri Lanka still remember with great respect the remarkable service he rendered during his era. A commemorative ceremony was held at A.E. Gunasinghe's statue at Gunasinghapura in Fort, paying tribute. He was acknowledged as a founding figure of the labour movement in Sri Lanka, with the ceremony carried out under the leadership of Vijitha Kadiragonna, the president of the Lanka Workers' Union. A group that included Ajit P. Pereira, the chief executive of the Samagi Jana Balavega and the member of parliament for the Kalutara district, also participated in the event.
Police Inspector Ashok Aryawansa, who served as the personal security officer to former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, has been immediately transferred to the Kankasanthrai Police Division. Now, this transfer has been made in connection with an incident where he allegedly attempted to make a phone call to Sivanesature Chandrakanthan alias Pillayan, who was in the custody of the Criminal Investigation Department.
Police Inspector Ashok Aryawansa, the Chief Security Officer of former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, facilitated a phone call to an officer of the Criminal Investigation Department stating that the former president needed to make the call. The Criminal Investigation Department has now launched an inquiry into whether the investigation was obstructed, and the transfer of the security officer was carried out during the course of this investigation. Ashok Aryawansa has served as a security officer to Ranil Wickremesinghe for over 20 years. This transfer was carried out by the Acting Inspector General of Police with the approval of the Police Commission and the Election Commission. Responding to an inquiry from Newsfirst, the chairman of the Election Commission, RMA L. Ratnayaka, stated that transfers related to disciplinary actions can be made even during an election period.
Permission has been granted by the court to record a statement from MP Chamara Sampath Dasanayake about a phosphate deal alleged to have caused a Rs 2.7 billion loss to the government during the previous administration. The court's order followed the review of facts in a B report submitted regarding the incident.
Police said the steps will be taken to record the statement from MP Chamara Sampath, who is currently in custody. Meanwhile, an individual who acted as an advisor in the transaction has been arrested in Navla by the Legal Assets Division of the Criminal Investigations Department. The arrested individual, Navin Dhanesh, was found in possession of a small unlicensed pistol, a licensed 9mm pistol with 20 rounds of ammunition, and an SLG 0123 repeater firearm during a search of his residence. Investigations are ongoing into the alleged illegal sale of 30,000 metric tons of rock phosphate by Lanka Phosphate Company to 3 firms, which reportedly resulted in a loss of approximately 2.7 billion rupees to the government.
The International Schools of Sri Lanka, the leading body representing 23 top international schools, launched its flagship event, the 10th International Conference for School Leaders, scheduled for the 16th and 17th of May in Kalutara.
The International Schools of Sri Lanka held a press conference on the 30th April, emphasizing the importance of connecting schools nationwide ahead of the 10th International Conference for School Leaders.
And the reason why we thought we will have this international conference for leaders of school is because we believe in school leaders having the necessary exposure. Not every leader, not every school can, invest on sending their key leadership overseas for training. But here, what we did was we created a situation where we are able to invite top speakers from all over the world to come to Sri Lanka and give us that kind of exposure that we all need. I think this year, under the executive committee chaired by Mr. Harshana Pereira and the entire team, I think we've reached another milestone where we've been able to have almost 6 principal sponsors, and even what is more important is that all awarding bodies, be they from UK, from Australia, all of them have come forward to support.
The conference this year will be held on the theme Understanding Education Through Generations. This year, we thought it was best that we try to give our focus on understanding not just the challenges but the opportunities that we have as a result of the wide diversity that we experience in our schools between those who are 18 years and 3 years of age. So I hope that the 2-day conference will give our delegates the opportunity to reflect and to understand what exactly education should be in this new age.
The 10th International Conference for School Leaders will cover key topics including harnessing the benefits of AI in schools, innovative teaching methods to enhance learning and more. The conference is expected to attract over 250 school leaders from international, private and state schools in Sri Lanka.
In light of the newly imposed US import tariffs that could significantly impact Sri Lankan exporters, the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce convened a focus session yesterday. The session aimed at evaluating the challenges and identifying strategic opportunities in the evolving trade environment.
The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce hosted a panel discussion focusing on the impact of recent trade shifts and strategies for Sri Lankan exporters to adapt, stay competitive and thrive in the evolving US market.
For us in Sri Lanka, almost 2.9 billion accounts from the US. Most of our exports go to the US, whether we like it or not. This seems to be reality. Sri Lanka's imports from the US, so most of it is coming in terms of manufacturing industrial goods, 39%. Food and agriculture make up for 34%, and chemical-related 9%, and the remaining 18% spread over different aspects, textile, transport equipment, machinery, likewise. So this seems to be one of the reasons why we are getting hit with the tariffs that we are being proposed with. What are we hit with, apart from the base tax of 10%? What are we getting hit with? So Sri Lanka seems to be the highest and the most disadvantaged compared to the other regions. India, on the other hand, is looking at a 26%, Nepal 10, Bhutan 10, Bangladesh 37, Sri Lanka 44.
Whether we like it or not, trade happens. It's like a flowing river. It's like just because of India and Pakistan have a war, trade still happens through Dubai. People find a way. With that, the trade realigns. But we don't know in which formation. There will be a lot of cost implications, but it will realign in some way to our advantage or to our disadvantage. I think if US's strategy is to really corner China, there may be some diversification of orders. The challenge would be the uncertainty on the second front and the third round of impact on how it also affects the services, because when the consumption drops, it affects the growth. And then when it comes to Sri Lanka, as you all know, our debt sustainability analysis is all mainly dependent on the growth trajectory that we have kept.
The panel discussion was themed Understanding the Impact of New US Import Tariffs, Opportunities for Sri Lankan Exporters.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has asked for more time on the US economy as it contracted for the first time in 3 years, stoking recession fears. He said that the figure was misleading because companies had stockpiled imports ahead of his imposition of tariffs.
And I think you have to get us a little bit of time to get moving, but this is the Biden economy. But we still had and we've had a lot of things happen since November 5th that helped this economy because it was indicating a strong private sector growth. And it only started after November 5th. The private sector started really heating up after the election, and the private sector growth was actually very good. Very importantly, gross domestic investment was up an incredible 22%, which they had never seen before. Every new investment, every new factory, and every new job created is a sign of strength in American economy and a declaration of confidence in America's future. We really do. We've never seen anything like this. Past 100 days have been fighting to reclaim our jobs and bring our country back to a level that it's never seen before, and again renew the American dream, which is what we're doing. We have tremendous spirit.
The U.S. Commerce Department said the U.S. economy contracted at an annual rate of 0.3%, a sharp downturn after growth of 2.4% in the previous quarter. It comes as Trump marks 100 days in office. Trump, however, said $8 trillion of inward investment had been promised, which he argued would restore American manufacturing prowess.
In more news overseas, the Pakistan Army has carried out what they called an unprovoked small arms firing across the line of control towards the Kupwara, Uri and Akhnur sectors in Jammu and Kashmir, violating ceasefire for the 7th consecutive night. The Indian Army responded with equal force to the incessant firing from across the border.
In further escalation of tensions, since the 22nd of April Pahalgam terror attack, Pakistan's forces fired along the international border, violating ceasefire for the 7th consecutive night. According to reports, Pakistan's actions violate a 2003 ceasefire agreement, to which both sides reaffirmed commitment in February 2021, after increased tensions along the 740-kilometer-long de facto border. The Directors General of Military Operations of India and Pakistan spoke by a hotline following Pakistan's unprovoked firing along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. During the conversation, the Indian Army is said to have issued a strong warning to Pakistan over the ceasefire violations. Meanwhile, India has reached out to its counterparts from 8 non-permanent member nations of the United Nations Security Council as part of its diplomatic offensive. In telephonic conversations with Danish counterpart Lars Løkke Rasmussen on Wednesday, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar is understood to have conveyed to him India's resolve to bring the perpetrators of the April 22nd attack to justice. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar also spoke to the foreign ministers of Algeria, Greece, Guyana, Panama, Sierra Leone, Slovenia and Somalia, all nations currently serving as non-permanent members of the UNSC for a 2-year term. Amid escalating tensions between India and Pakistan, the United States has encouraged New Delhi and Islamabad to de-escalate tensions. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, reaffirming the US's commitment to cooperate with India against terrorism and urging Pakistan's cooperation in investigating the unconscionable attack in Kashmir. US State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce in the press conference said that both leaders reaffirmed their continued commitment to holding terrorists accountable for their heinous acts of violence.
So we are reaching out regarding the Kashmir situation, India and Pakistan, that he said we are reaching out to both parties and telling, of course, them to not escalate the situation. The Secretary expects to speak with the foreign ministers of Pakistan and India as early as today or tomorrow. He is encouraging other national leaders, other foreign ministers, to also reach out to the countries on this issue. So it is, again, as I've noted, every day action is being taken. In this case, the Secretary speaking directly to his counterparts in India and Pakistan, we expect certainly the impact he's usually had with the individuals he's spoken with, and certainly with President Trump's leadership, India and Pakistan, having those conversations. It's very important for them.
6 days after Pakistan decided to shut its airspace to all flights owned and operated by Indian carriers, New Delhi has announced a reciprocal move by shutting down its airspace to all Pakistan-owned and operated planes. A notum or notice to air missions was released by New Delhi, which read, and I quote, "Indian airspace not available to Pakistan-registered aircraft and aircraft operated or leased by Pakistan Airlines. These include military flights," end quote. Both India and Pakistan have now blocked each other's airlines over their airspace till 5:29 a.m. Indian Standard Time on the 24th of May. Reports suggest that these may be revised closer to that date. The move comes amid escalating tensions between India and Pakistan in the wake of the horrific terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam, in which 26 tourists were gunned down by terrorists with links to Pakistan. Flights from Pakistan, which are scheduled for destinations in Southeast Asia and Oceania, will now have to circumnavigate India.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight.
Thank you very much for joining us. Good night and take care.